Disney Channel. Hi everyone, this is Lena, aka Cure Amour, and welcome back to our review series of Miraculous Ladybug Season 5. In this video, we'll all be reviewing episode 114, Transmission, the Butterfly Miraculous, Niru. Let's
get this party started!
Ah, spoiler alert!
Marinette lies on her bed in her room, and her windows are covered with curtains, making the room almost completely dark. And her photos of Adrien are in the trash. Sabine enters her daughter's room and attempts her daughter to go to school. As it turns out, Marinette is depressed about her love life, and she doesn't even feel like going. So as her mother leaves, Tiki tells Marinette that she can't stay in her room forever. Marinette tries to give Tiki her Miraculous, which Tiki refuses. So Marinette laments about her perceived failed romances. So Tiki tries to cheer her up, but no avail. Adrien goes to Marinette's house to give her homework, and also tries to cheer her up, worrying Plague that they might fall in love and reveal their identities. Meanwhile, Miss Boustier's class is having a party over, and Adrien and Marinette are being inevitable, or so they think. However, Zoe is skeptical. During this, Alia constantly receives calls from her sister Nora, to which she declines to answer. Meanwhile, a dejected Marinette rejects Adrien's help, so Adrien leaves Marinette's room, and the both of them are now undergoing a series of depression. Because of this, Monarch senses Adrien's sadness and attempts to akumatize him. However, he hesitates, realizing that Adrien doesn't even have an alliance. Tiki and Plague cannot bear to see their holders in so much pain, and so they decide to reassign the Miraculous and bid their holders farewell and au revoir. Eventually, back at the Francois Dupont, due to Zoe's concern, Nino calls Adrien, who is now at home in his room, sobbing in the darkness. Adrien asks Natalie to pick up his phone for him, and so Natalie tells Nina that Adrien doesn't even feel like talking, making everyone undergo sadness. So, Gabriel then comes into Adrien's room, to which Natalie warns him not to take advantage of Adrien's misfortune. Gabriel does not heed this warning and gives Adrien an alliance, which Adrien takes off immediately after his father leaves. So Tiki and Plague take their Miraculouses, freeing Marinette and Adrien of their despair. Monarch attempts to akumatize Adrien, but Adrien feels better as he realizes he can go back over to Marinette's house and make amends. So Marinette also realizes her newfound freedom and takes over her photos of Adrien out of the trash. And Monarch swiftly finds another target, one who has not one, but 5 alliances at once. Adrien runs over to Marinette's house and finds her putting her pictures of Adrien back up. So Marinette apologizes for her dour demeanor towards Adrien, and Marinette tries to tell Adrien she loves him, but struggles to do so. And Adrien comes up with an idea to get help. He gets her to raise her right hand for yes and her left hand for no. Marinette answers Adrien's questions regarding her feelings for him, and he gives Marinette her homework. Back at the Francois Dupont, most of Miss Boustier's class and Marc try to formulate a plan to save Marinette and Adrien's love, which is interrupted by Alia getting another call from Nora, which she answers. Nora tells Alia she humiliated fellow kickboxer Koki to his friends and humiliated him on social media, and that she needed advice on how to handle the situation. Meanwhile, Tiki and Plague are also at the school to select their new holders. When Tiki chooses Alia, Plague is going to choose Nino. But when he finds that Nino is in love with Alia, he abrats, figuring the same situation to their previous holders would occur. So Zoe speaks up, suggesting they should talk to Adrien and Marinette before they make a plan, and they leave for Marinette's house. And this prompts Plague to choose her as his Miraculous holder. And the akumatized Koki Kiko now has Voyage, Clout, Shelter, and Resistance, and attacks Paris. The nearby Marinette and Adrien, hearing the destruction, go up to Marinette's balcony, realize it's not their responsibility to protect Paris anymore, so they wait for their threat to be over. Kiko, now a Olympiades continues his destruction of Paris. Alia, now Scarabella once again, and Zoe, now the heroine Kitty Noir, appear on the scene. They have no time to introduce themselves as they need to fight off Koki. Kitty Noir tries to cataclysm Kiko's shelter, but Kiko's resistance prevents his shelter from being broken. Monarch transfers Kiko his fifth and final miraculous power, Multitude. Kiko uses it to multiply into 3 slightly smaller clones of himself. Scarabella summons her lucky charm and receives a towel. So Scarabella explains her plan to Kitty Noir, who runs off to execute her part. While Scarabella distracts Kiko and dodges his attacks, Kitty Noir gathers firefighters, their truck, and buckets of blue paint from Sakline's family's art shop. And the firefighters fill their truck with blue paint and give Kitty Noir the hose. So she fills the lucky charm towel tied to her staff with the paint, dumping it on an unsuspecting Kiko, blinding him. And he drops his shelter, giving Scarabella the opening she needs to break his headgear with her yo-yo. And Scarabella captures and purifies Kiko's Megakuma, reverting him back to Koki. Nora appears on the scene and argues with Koki. Scarabella advises to keep the both of them to have their emotions in check while communicating, which they agree to. Scarabella summons her Miraculous, and Scarabella repairs the damage. And now the rest assured that the new holders of their new Miraculouses can handle future acclimatizations just fine. Adrian and Marinette exchange smiles as the damage is repaired. Eventually, Monarch's alliance informs him of superhuman activity on 2 alliances, Alia's and Zoe's. He smiles with a wicked grin and laughs, ready to attack the new Miraculous holders, ending the episode.
Did you know that?
When the duty of being heroes is too much for Adrian and Marinette to the point of costing them their love, Tiki and Plague, with caring but heavy hearts, take back their jewels, freeing them so their owners could have a chance of being together. Alia receives the Ladybug Miraculous again, leading to Scarabella's return after Hacksound, and also Zoe receives the Cat Miraculous and becomes Kitty Noir. It's been 9 months since Marinette, Adrian, and Gabriel had their Miraculouses. Gabriel now knows that Alia and Zoe are Scarabella and Kitty Noir. Zoe becomes the second female to use the Cat Miraculous, succeeding her leader Ladybug. Adrian stops being friends with Lila off-screen because of what she's trying to do to Marinette in the past and broke her heart, and he doesn't even want to see him anymore. Monarch uses the powers of the bee, mouse, rooster, ox, and horse Miraculouses in an attempt to take the Ladybug and Cat Miraculouses from Alia and Zoe. Monarch unifies the butterfly and Ladybug Miraculouses, becoming Monarbug. Plague cataclysms his own Miraculous. He and Tiki both use their versions of the Miraculous superpowers, creating a calamity creation and destruction. And when Tiki uses her powers in calmness, it's similar to her holders, creating any random object she needs, but for every intended object, while multiple random ones appear, as well as Plague's Cataclysm is continuous when used. This is the first time the resistance group squares off against Monarch. Marinette and Adrian now know that Monarch destroyed the original forms of the stolen Miraculouses and turned them into rings. Gabriel becomes the 3rd male to wield the Ladybug Miraculous, succeeding Mikazoyolan and Adrian. And the episode shares the same name with the concept of the Butterfly Miraculous. And the episode explores a little bit more with Monarch's powers to transmit the powers of other Miraculous. It's shown that an alliance ring can hold only 1 power at a time, and that the more rings one person has, the more powers Monarch is able to transmit. The concept of transmission was applied in this episode, besides through the superpower of acclimatization. Tiki and Plague take their respective Miraculous from Marinette and Adrian and redistribute them to their new holders, Alia and Zoe, respectively. And the ability of Gabriel's alliance ring to force the other rings to transmit information about their respective owners allowed him to discover the identities of Scarabella and Kitty Noir. And this is the first episode in where Marinette does not transform into Ladybug, with the superhero only appearing in the flashback. And this is the first episode where neither Ladybug nor Cat Noir appear in the present time, being it together by themselves. And this is the third time Adrien does not transform into Cat Noir, following Style Queen, Mr. Pigeon 72, and preceding Emotion. And this episode was finished as of September 10th, 2022, last year. After hearing that Marinette was not picking up her friend's call after missing classes, Chloe comments how that reminded her of the time Marinette asked her for permission to come to school. And this is a reference to how Marinette used to be a doormat to Chloe's bullying behavior towards her before getting the Ladybug Miraculous and becoming Ladybug. According to Max, it's been 286 days, or a bit over 9 months and 12 days since Adrien started school and when Ladybug and Cat Noir began their first adventure. If so, then that would put the current date somewhere near the end of June. And this causes many inconsistencies about the timeline, because in Season 1 there was Christmas and Valentine's Day. In Season 3 there was only summer vacation, and in Season 4 there was the King's Day, which was January 6th. So it is impossible that it's only been 9 months, and it has been at least 1.5 years. And this is the first time when the destination of Monarch's voyage portals are seen. Kiko is the second character to get akumatized for the first time in Season 5, following Veronique in Determination. Similar to Joan d'Arc and Dark Grimalkin, Marinette and Adrien dictated their jewels in the name of love, but unlike their predecessors in Alia and Strikeback, who did it by their own choosing their Kwamis, did it for them. As a plague, picking Zoe to be his new wielder, she becomes the second female to wield the Cat Miraculous, following Lady Noir. And with her being called Kitty Noir, Zoe unknowingly named herself after Cat Noir's nickname, called that by Ladybug in Time Tagger. And similar to Marinette being the first female overall to wield the Cat Miraculous, Zoe becomes the first known American female Black Hat Miraculous holder. Zoe is the 6th member of the French Miraculous superhero team to use another Miraculous. The first is Marinette with the mouse, fox, cat, dragon, bee, horse, and rabbit Miraculouses. The second is Adrien with the ladybug, snake, and rabbit Miraculouses. The third one is Master Fu with the turtle and peacock Miraculouses. And the fourth one is Alia with the ladybug Miraculous, and the fifth one is Alex with the dog Miraculous. This is the third time Gabriel is seen listening for targets after Risk and Jubilation. This is the 9th episode that features a post-credit scene following Miracle Queen, Gabriel at Rest, of Dagami, Sensibubble and Dearest Family, Multiplication, Jubilation, and Illusion. This is the 23rd time where a lucky charm is an object that appeared in a previous episode. This time, it's the parachute that previously appeared in Stoneheart and Kuroneko. But unlike the other times, this one was not summoned by Ladybug but Scarabella, making this the second time a temporary Ladybug holder summoned an object that Ladybug previously created, following Mr. Bug creating a mirror and reflect doll. And the scene of giving their jewels back is parallel to them when they first used them in Ladybug and Cat Noir. And this is also the episode in which Adrien ended his friendship with Lila once and for all.
Now you know!
Adrien has his TV turned to TVI's report of the events following transmission of the scene of Kiko's defeat, Les Olympiades. Clara Contard is interviewing the new holders of the Ladybug and Cat Miraculouses, Scarabella and Kitty Noir. Clara asks if Ladybug and Cat Noir were forced to step down. Scarabella declines to answer directly, but she does say that the predecessors have nothing to feel guilty about. Kitty Noir adds, like their predecessors, they will accomplish their mission of ending Monarch's reign. And Claire then remarks Ladybug and Cat Noir may have renounced their Miraculouses to live their supposed love story. And Scarabella answers that neither Ladybug and Cat Noir nor her and Kitty Noir are in love or in a relationship. Claire then asks for their names. The new heroes introduce themselves as their new hero personas and then they leave. The program then cuts to Nadja, who wishes for Scarabella and Kitty Noir good luck in their mission. Adrian turns off his TV and he checks his phone for messages from Marinette, but there is not. And he walks over to his foosball table and places a ball and sadly knocks the ball into the goal at his right. And he checks his phone for messages from Marinette once more. Still nothing. He dejectedly lies his torso on the foosball table in sorrow. Scarabella swings back to her apartment, lands in her room, and de-transforms into Alia. She asks Tiki how she did to Scarabella. Tiki sadly says she was fantastic, and this makes Alia believe she screwed up. Tiki reassures Alia she did great, and she just misses Marinette. And Tiki hears Ella and Etta about to barge into Alia's room, so she hides in her fanny pack. The twins inform Alia Marinette has arrived, and Marinette gives the twins some croquettes that she bought, and the twins run off cheering in happiness. Marinette expresses her approval of Tiki's choice for a new holder. Tiki comes out of hiding and hugs Marinette's face. Alia remarks that Marinette's mood has improved, and Marinette suddenly gets a call from Adrian. And she answers flustered, and he tells her that he left his bag at her place, and he asks if he could come and get it, to which she refuses. Marinette tells Adrian she will bring him his bag tomorrow, and she hangs up. Marinette embarrassedly sits down and covers her face with her hands. Alia asks what happened with Marinette and Adrian. Marinette tells her about Adrian's hand-raising idea. Marinette worriedly asks Alia if she thinks Kitty Noir and Scarabella can handle Monarch, and that Alia must keep her identity a secret from her boyfriend Nino. Alia tells her not to worry about it, as it's now on Scarabella and Kitty Noir to carry that burden. Alia tells Marinette to focus on Adrian instead. On the roof of Le Grand Paris, Kitty Noir de-transforms into Zoe. Plagg congratulates Zoe on her victory. He remarks that she'd be the perfect holder if she had a cheese cellar. She tells him Le Grand Paris is home to the largest cheese cellar in Paris, and this pleases Plagg immensely. Zoe warns Plagg to be careful, to which he agrees and hides in her hat. Zoe then takes the elevator down to the 6th floor, where the restaurant's cheese cellar is. Zoe sneaks into the kitchen to find her half-sister Chloe eating ice cream. Chloe blows up at Zoe, and she apologizes to her half-sister and asks how she can make it up to her. So Chloe gets Zoe to carry a bunch of her shoes to Zoe's room to clean. Plagg is very upset at how Zoe is treated by Chloe, and he suggests he cataclysms her, while Zoe tells him not to. Plagg expresses his fury over Zoe's mistreatment again, and she tells Plagg that she has to lay low in order to conceal her secret identity. Gabriel rises to his atelier, and he smiles and begins to dance. He dances out of his atelier door into the foyer, and he dances up the stairs to slide down the banister, where he stops in front of his assistant Natalie, who asks what has gotten into him. And Gabriel asks if she could smell something, and she asks him if he's making pancakes, to which Gabriel denies. He exclaims it's even better and twirls her around. And Gabriel brings Natalie to his atelier and activates his alliance. It has recorded data beyond normal human capabilities from 2 other alliances, Alia's and Zoe's. Natalie congratulates Gabriel, and he triumphantly asks Natalie if she can now smell the scent of victory as he descends to his lair. Natalie looks at the painting of Emily with concern, and Gabriel talks to his comatose wife about his imminent victory. Natalie, in her room, expresses her worries about Gabriel's plans to her phone with videos of Emily, and Gabriel tells his captive Kwamis that they will play their parts in his plan, his acknowledge of their secret identities of Scarabella and Kitty Noir. Gabriel transforms into Monarch, and he takes the miraculous superpowers of Pollen, Mulo, Olico, Stomp, and Kalki, and he uses Voyage to teleport to the Francois Dupont. And Daisy asks Sass what they can do to stop Monarch, and Sass replies he fears they can do nothing. At the Francois Dupont's boiler room, the Resistance holds a meeting to pay tribute to Ladybug and Cat Noir, show their support for Scarabella and Kitty Noir, and announce the change of the Ladybug into the Scarablog. Adrian and Marinette show concern for Ladybug and Cat Noir. Adrian assures Marinette Cat Noir is okay. Nino goes over to the akumatization system, an application developed by Max and Markov. And when the exclamation mark button is pressed, a signal is sent to a box in the boiler room which broadcasts the warning music written by Kitty Selection throughout the school. Kim, Milan, and Ivan are in charge of evacuation. Rose, Julika, Zoe, and Max try to calm down the akumatized victim, and Nathaniel, Adrian, Marinette, Alya, and Nino gear up with condiment squirting guns if the victim is fully akumatized. And the bell rings, dismissing the kids for lunch. Nino asks Alya why they aren't picked as the new Ladybug and Cat Miraculous holders, as he believed as they were great as Rena, Rouge, and Carapace. And Alya replies that they would have to lie to each other to protect their secret identities. Nino is okay with this, and he tells Alya she doesn't have to be super to be his hero. Nina and Alya leave for the cafeteria. Unbeknownst to everyone, Monarch was there invisible, and he pulls the cable to the box, sabotaging the Resistance plan. And Monarch uses Malta to split into 5 copies of himself and run towards the unsuspected Miraculous holders. In the cafeteria, Zoe places some camembert on a plate and drops a piece in her bag for Plague, making them happy. 2 invisible monarchs follow Zoe to her seat, and 2 other monarchs are waiting by Alya, and the 5th monarch is crouched atop a light fixture. Adrian pulls out a seat for Marinette, to which she sits in. Marinette's friends cheer her on quietly. Adrian asks Marinette about the Heart of Palm and if it reminded her of something. Lila tells Chloe she is generous to let Marinette get close to Adrian. Chloe asks her alliance to define generous, which it fails. Chloe barks at Sabrina to define the word generous, and she politely asks her alliance to define the word generous, which she succeeds. This definition angers Chloe, making her want to ruin Marinette's time with Adrian. So Marinette tries to get her hand to move to hold Adrian's hand, but it's frozen in fear. Adrian tells her she doesn't have to hold his hand if she isn't ready and they can just be friends. Marinette blurts out that she doesn't even want to be friends, so Adrian dejectedly says he understands. Marinette exclaims that she didn't mean that and that her hand shall obey over. She continues to force her hand toward Adrian, but ends up falling over. Chloe walks over and claims Marinette is back where she belongs at her feet. Zoe stands up to defend her friend, but she gets cold feet as well. Adrian steps in to defend Marinette. He lends Marinette his hand and he helps her back to his seat. Chloe claims that he's being too nice to her and laughs as she tells Adrian that Marinette is in love with him. Already aware of this, Adrian calls her out on her cruel behavior and tells her to return to her seat while he returns to his. Chloe continues to humiliate Marinette, but her friends defend her, and Zoe stands up to her half-sister. Chloe threatens Zoe with their mother, saying she'll send Zoe back to New York. Zoe, not intimidated by this threat, takes Chloe back to her seat, telling her that she could care less about being sent back to New York. Everybody in the cafeteria congratulates Zoe for her actions, pissing off Chloe further. So the Monarch, sensing Chloe's hatred and rage, akumatizes her into Soul Destroyer. And Nino tries to activate the anti-akumatization system, but the alarm doesn't go off. Nino just rolls with it and puts the next part of the plan into action. So Milan and Max try to help their fellow students escape Soul Destroyer's wrath, but they're transformed into singing shoes. The Monarchs remark their plan is in motion. 1 Monarch recombines with the other 4 Monarchs. And 2 Monarchs follow Zoe, and the other 2 follow Alya, Marinette, and Adrian. They hide under their table, where Soul Destroyer finds her. Soul Destroyer swings her leg at Marinette, missing as Adrian pulls Marinette back. Adrian throws a chair at Soul Destroyer to distract her, and Marinette can get away. Zoe runs into the locker room. Plague praises Zoe's earlier intervention. Zoe attempts to transform, but the Monarchs strike her and Plague with venom. A Monarch takes the Cat Miraculous. Alya runs into a stall in the girls' bathroom to transform. But both she and Tiki are struck by the venom-wielding Monarchs. A Monarch grabs the Ladybug Miraculous. The 2 groups of Monarchs use Voyage to teleport to Arenas de Lutis, where he puts on the Ladybug and Cat Miraculous.
Monarch unfreezes the Kwamis. Plagg tries to cataclysm Monarch, but he has resistance activated, leaving his cataclysm unable to harm him.
Having no other option to prevent Monarch from achieving victory, Plagg and Tiki fly away. Monarch recites the unification phrase, pulling Tiki and Plagg back toward their Miraculouses, but the Kwamis resist the transformation. Plagg tells Tiki to summon her lucky charm for Ladybug so she can get the Miraculous back and stop Monarch, and Tiki does so. The unification nearly completes, but Plagg cataclysms the Cat Miraculous, destroying it, and this leaves Monarch and Tiki in a huge crater. Wanton destruction across Paris, and sends a lucky charm to Marinette, and she realizes that her having the lucky charm means Alia is out of commission, so she attempts to call her best friend. Monarch awakens to see the Cat Miraculous crumple to dust. Tiki also awakens, but Monarch orders her to stay put. Marinette's call reaches Alia voicemail. Nino helps Adrien up, asking him where Scarabella and Kitty Noir are. Adrien replies that they're most likely busy elsewhere in Paris. Marinette escapes to the girls' bathroom to find Alia paralyzed. Marinette pieces the clues together to realize that Monarch is behind all of this. Marinette makes her way home, where the lucky charm in a trash bin to execute her plan. Soul Destroyer kicks Sabrina, turning her into a singing shoe. The hiding Adrien and Nino wonder where Marinette and Alia are. Nino believes Soul Destroyer transformed them. Adrien gets an alert on his phone from TVI. Clara, in her helicopter, reports on Monarch's theft of the Ladybug Miraculous. With the superheroes down, Nino and Adrien gather the resistance to reclaim the stolen Miraculous and return them to their rightful holders. Marinette readies herself to face Monarch. Monarch orders Tiki to explain the situation. She explains to him how Plagg destroyed his Miraculous and himself with it. Monarch demands that Tiki provides a solution to bring Plagg back and his Miraculous with him. Tiki tells Monarch he must toss the lucky charm in the air and call out his Miraculous Monarbug. Monarch commands Tiki to tell him where the lucky charm is. Tiki replies she doesn't know. She entrusted the lucky charm to the universe and doesn't know where it is. Marinette, dressed as Ladybug in a motorcycle helmet, makes her appearance. Monarch claims that she is powerless at the moment because he possesses her Kwami and Miraculous. Marinette explains that Tiki and Plagg have triggered a series of events that can only be repaired by Miraculous Ladybug, which requires the lucky charm she possesses in tandem with the Ladybug Miraculous Monarch possesses. Monarch remarks they will also bring back the Cat Miraculous too. He uses Voyage to take possession of the lucky charm and transforms into Monarbug. He calls out his Miraculous Monarbug, but is duped by a fake lucky charm Marinette made. Marinette uses this opportunity to try to take back her Miraculous, but Monarbug throws her off it. He attempts to paralyze her, but due to his misfortune, Nino stands in his way. He is joined by the Resistance, who spray Monarbug with condiments to keep him visible. Rose and Julika threaten Monarbug with a captive Soul Destroyer, but he releases Soul Destroyer's Megakuma, reverting her back to Chloe. Adrien takes the opportunity of this distraction to take the Ladybug Miraculous. Monarch attempts to take it back, but is dogpiled by Ivan, Kim, and Rose. Adrien hands over the Ladybug Miraculous to Marinette. She thanks him and transforms into Ladybug. She calls out her Miraculous Ladybug, which fixes the Calamity and the Cat Miraculous, bringing Plagg back. Ladybug reacts quickly and takes the Cat Miraculous back. In doing so, she sees Monarch has reconfigured the Miraculous into rings, and he takes her by surprise as an opportunity to escape from her grasp. Marinette tries to capture him again with her yo-yo. Monarch uses Multitude to escape her and returns to his lair via Voyage. Monarch recombines, wipes his face off the condiments, and laments Ladybug and the Resistance's victory. At Marinette's house in her room, along with Alia, Tiki, and Plagg, question about how Monarch figured out Scarabella and Kitty Noir's secret identity so quickly. Marinette observes while Scarabella and Kitty Noir are figured out. Monarch hasn't figured out Ladybug or Cat Noir's secret identities. Marinette tells Plagg to give his Miraculous back to Cat Noir. Plagg asks to say goodbye to Kitty Noir first. Marinette obliges. Zoe in her room is curled up in a ball, sad because she believes that she failed as Kitty Noir. Plagg comforts her and convinces her that she was an exceptional holder and a very brave one for standing up to Chloe. And he tells Zoe not to let anyone push her around. Zoe gives Plagg a wrapped slice of camembert, and this makes Plagg ecstatic. He exclaims he was proud to be Zoe's Kwami and leaves for Adrian's house. As she watches Plagg leave, her smile fades to a frown and she curls up back into a ball. Later that night, at the Jordan's Trocadero, Ladybug and Cat Noir remark their duo is the only successful formula. They congratulate their Kwamis and the Resistance and pound it in honor of them, thus ending the episode.
Did you know that?
This is the second Season 5 episode that is named after the concept of a Miraculous, the first being reunion. The concept of deflagration, which means the heating of a substance until it burns away rapidly, is applied to the calamity caused by Tiki and Plagg when they use their miraculous superpowers to prevent Monarch from using their respective Miraculouses to grant his wish. With Plagg using his Cataclysm to destroy his cat Miraculous and Tiki using her lucky charm to create an object for Marinette in order to help her fight Monarch and get back the two Miraculouses from him. The consequences of their use of their respective miraculous superpowers caused a successive wave of creation and subsequent destruction that threatens to not only destroy Paris but the entire world unless reverted. It went opposite of how the ultimate miraculous absolute power was described in Ephemeral. Scarabella and Kitty Noir are formally introduced to all of Paris, which the latter revealing their superhero name. And despite this being Scarabella's formal introduction to the people of Paris, she has already saved the city before during the events of Haxan. However, because everyone was under robustest control, they don't even have a chance to remember her. This is the first time Gabriel sings and dances, and this is the third episode featuring a musical number after Santa Claus and Silencer. His song is later reused in the episode Emotion, this time sang by Argos as he snaps his fingers to make all of the Parisians disappear. In the European Spanish, European Portuguese, Romanian, German, Dutch, English, Norwegian, Swedish, Danish, Finnish, Hungarian, Czech, Polish, Bulgarian, and Japanese dubs of this episode, the Gabriel version of the song was never dubbed in their languages and was left untouched in the original French dub. It's revealed that Zoe and Nathaniel are also part of the Resistance. However, it's unknown what their code names are. The Resistance has developed a protocol that for the eventuality that an akumatization happens in the school, involving an alarm to warn everybody at school, evacuating all the students, and using any calming techniques to cast away any negative emotions the target may be feeling in order to help them fight the akumatization. Monarch was able to disturb part of this protocol by sabotaging their alarm. Lila is seen making use of her friendship with Chloe to disturb Marinette's love story with Adrian, manipulating Chloe into interrupting their romantic lunch. This is the 9th time Chloe gets akumatized following Antibug, Queen Wasp, Mayura, Miracle Queen, Queen Banana, Penalty, and the 2 off-screen akumatizations that were revealed in Mr. Pigeon 72. However, this time, she gets akumatized into Soul Destroyer, her 6th akumatized form overall. Interestingly, this latest akumatized form is a variation of Zoe's akumatized form, Soul Crusher. Soul Destroyer is also the first akumatized supervillain not to receive a miraculous superpower through an alliance in Season 5. And this is the 3rd time an akumatized villain uses their shoes as a weapon after Soul Crusher and Penalty. However, this is the 2nd time that an akumatized villainous form of Chloe has used her shoes as a weapon after Penalty. This is the 7th time footwear is used after Timebreaker, Frozer, Hero's Day, Gang of Secrets, Soul Crusher, and Penalty. And this is the first time someone reuses a power previously summoned through the use of sublimation. And this is the first time where Gabriel gets both the Ladybug and Cat Miraculous in the permanent timeline, though he loses them thanks to the Resistance, who helped Ladybug get them back. Monarch loses the Cat Miraculous twice, as he lost it when Plagg used his miraculous superpower to destroy it, which is later restored by Ladybug's miraculous Ladybug, only to lose it again to Ladybug. And this is also the 5th time where Monarch obtains one or more Miraculouses, but loses them following Miracle Queen, Miraculous New York, and Evolution. It's revealed that Kwamis can actually be affected by the miraculous superpowers of other Kwamis, as Monarch was able to use Venom, Pollen's miraculous superpower, on both Plagg and Tiki. Not just that, but they remain affected by the miraculous superpower even after returning to their respective Miraculous, as they remain paralyzed after Monarch took their Miraculouses and put them on, summoning the two Kwamis who were still immobilized. This has already been hinted, as it has been shown that Kwamis can indirectly be affected by other Kwami miraculous superpowers like their owner, which is through their owner like akumatization, and it is shown that the user of Venom can undo the effects of its power over someone with a snap of fingers, evidenced by how Monarch was able to free Tiki and Plagg from their paralyzed state. Another weakness of resistance was revealed. According to Plagg, if someone who's currently under the effects of the resistance puts on or holds an object, if after they are activated by the power, the object in question won't be protected by it. This was shown when the Monarch puts on the Cat Miraculous after he activated the ability, which means that the ring wasn't impervious to superpowers, enabling Plagg to use his Cataclysm directly on it and not be nullified. And this implies either a similar situation on this has happened before. Stomp was in a situation where resistance was activated and then Stomp or a miraculous holder of his held or one item was broken. Or the Kwamis simply know how to use their miraculous superpowers to interact with each other inherently. Resistance doesn't protect the user's body from something that doesn't count as an attack or at least a weakness of another power. It's revealed that multitude users can control how many clones they can revert to after they've been already split. It's revealed that to revert a smaller number of clones, the user only has to say fall in. And this is the 8th time where Kwami uses their miraculous superpowers on their own on screen, following Style Queen, Cataclysm, Gang of Secrets, Soul Crusher, Optigami, Dearest Family, and Ephemeral. But it's the first time a Kwami does so in Season 5, and this is the 3rd known time where Plagg uses his miraculous superpower without an owner on screen following Style Queen and Cataclysm. And this is the 2nd known time where Tiki used her miraculous superpower without an owner on screen following Dearest Family. And this is the 1st known time where two Kwamis have used their miraculous superpowers on screen in the same episode. And this is the 2nd time where Plagg attempted to use Cataclysm to someone on screen following Ephemeral. But since the events were undone by SAS, this is technically the 1st time Plagg attempted to Cataclysm someone on screen in the permanent timeline. And this is the first time that Plagg has Cataclysmed someone with his own miraculous on screen. Plagg is the 2nd behind Kalki, using their miraculous superpowers the most in an episode on screen, using Cataclysm twice, but he holds the record for the most times his miraculous was destroyed on screen with a total of 3. Meriden and Adrian know that Monarch destroyed both the original forms of the stolen Miraculouses and turned them into rings, along with them and the rest of the Resistance, seeing him in his new form for the first time. And this is the 16th time where an akumatized object wasn't even destroyed. Following Dearest Family, when Tiki is calm, she can use her power in the minor scale, in the same way her holders use, creating random objects that are necessary to solve a problem when she does that. But her power of creation gets out of control and keeps creating random objects around. Back in Style Queen, when Plagg mentioned that Ladybug needed to repair everything quickly, likely meant that Plagg's power doesn't only destroy the area where the power is used, it would most likely just spread around. And this also gives us more insight about the ultimate miraculous absolute power. And this power will only work if both the Ladybug and Cat Miraculouses are intact. Both Kwamis need to be kept inside their Miraculouses, but due to Plagg destroying his Miraculous, the unification process was disrupted, making it the 1st known time that this had ever happened. And this episode confirms from Samboy that any user of the Ladybug Miraculous can use a Lucky Charm even if they are not the summoner, as long as they wear the earrings. When Monarch noticed that the Cat Miraculous was destroyed and hears Tiki's explanation, he figured out what happens to a Kwamis in said situation despite him unintentionally or accidentally doing it before, such as in Time Breaker or a Miraculous Shanghai. This is the 3rd time where a fake Lucky Charm was made, following
Silencer, and Psychomedian. Like in Silencer, Monarch was fooled by mimicry. Marinette wore a similar disguise from Feast, but this time she makes it look like her upgraded suit, and this is the first time that the Resistance directly fights Monarch himself, with Nino, Alia, and Marinette with Adrian doing it in their civilian form for the first time. And this is the first episode where Zoe's room is shown. Like in Style Queen, Plagg, and Miraculous, Plagg actually mentioned what he did to dinosaurs. Plagg and Tiki even ask us questions similar to Ladybug's in Jubilation, unknown that they already have the answer. Following evolution, a new unification is revealed, Monorbug. This is the 4th episode where someone else other than Marinette wields the Ladybug Miraculous, first being Reflectall and Passion with Adrian and Alia in Haxan. And this makes Gabriel the 4th main cast member to be a Ladybug Miraculous holder after Marinette, Adrian, and Alia. And he's also the 6th person of French origins to wield the Ladybug Miraculous following Jeanne d'Arc, La Cochinelle, and temporarily succeeding Marinette, Adrian, and Alia. And he's also the 3rd male to wield the Ladybug Miraculous following Mika Zoylan and his son, and he is the 2nd French male to wield the Cat Miraculous following his own son. When being caught by Monarch and trying to escape him, the Kwamis took a page from their owner's book as Plagg, similar to Cat Noir, was quickly to react without thinking and sacrificing himself to keep hope alive by destroying his own Miraculous and Tiki from Ladybug feeling sad over her counterpart's sacrifice and had a desire to make most of it, but he couldn't help himself. And this is the 6th time where the heroes sit on the rooftop with a view of the Eiffel Tower following the Dark Owl, Lies, Haxan, Kuroneko, and Jubilation. And this is the 5th time where both holders are separated from their Miraculouses and Kwami in a single episode where following Reflectall, Feast, Passion, and Transmission. And this is the first time ever where both holders are separated from their Miraculouses and Kwamis in back-to-back episodes. However, like Marinette and Style Queen, Alia officially meets Plagg. And this episode begins where the previous episode left off, but unlike Collector, Truth, and Evolution, it's not a season opener. Similarly to Origins, the Queen's Battle, Heroes Day, the Battle of Miraculous, Truth, and Lies, Shadow Moth's Final Attack, Evolution, along with Multiplication and Destruction. These episodes take place during the same day. And last but not least, also taking it into consideration, this is the first time where Cataclysm is used 3 times in a single episode following Copycat, Time Tagger, and, of course, Dearest Family.
Now you know!
All is forgiven!
No time to read a list. Approved. Next.
To be honest, it was actually kind of upsetting to see Tiki and Plagg just being given up, and it was actually just a good episode. So Marinette and Adrian had to give up being superheroes for the time being until they're ready to fight. So it didn't even last long, and it actually took 1 episode, and this was actually the first time we ever did a 2-parter review for both episodes. So, to be honest, it's actually kind of exhausting, to be exact. We give this episode of Miraculous Ladybug a plus ultra decillion out of 10. Thank you so much for watching.
See?